YouTube. Welcome to my garage or storage unit, whatever you like to call it. I am doing this video today to talk about what I've been up to in the last few months. So, as some of you know, that I have started a new business with my now fiancé, and it's called Lawfee's Garden Services. Basically, we pretty much do Lincoln, Boston, Walton, Stamford, Spalding, like various places around Lincoln, and it's alright. It's just slowly picking up, but there's a lot of hard work, and can have injuries from it, which I know all too well from, but it is there is some expense to it, a bit like my other business, DJing and transfers. And the expenses are primarily garden tools, and the biggest ones, these biggest expenses, are these tools that stand behind me. The first ever power tool that I got was the lawnmower, and that's what I started with. It's just there in the corner, sort of out of the way. That's been so handy ever since I've got it. I've used it pretty much at some moments of this year, upwards of like twice, maybe 3 times a week. Obviously it's cut down now because it's winter time, but I actually got that mower, I think February, March of this year, and I thought, you know what, I actually quite enjoy doing garden work, so that's when I decided to get a strimmer from the same place, B&Q, and I'm thinking that some of these tools that I've got is B&Q brand. So I got the strimmer. I've used that quite a lot in the recent months. I think I got the strimmer about a month after I got the mower. And then that's when I decided to get my hedge trimmer, and this was like summertime, so June, July, August time. I've used that quite a few times, so the lawnmower I paid about 140 quid for, strimmer about 130 quid, the hedge trimmer about 144. The strimmer and hedge trimmer are 2-stroke motors, so you have to mix the fuel and oil together, because there's no oil chamber or oil sump, if you like. And the lawnmower itself, it's 4-stroke, so there is an oil sump chamber, so and you don't have to mix the oil and fuel together. And then after a few months working with just those 3 items, as you probably could tell on two other things. I can tell it's quite mucky. That's how much work I've been doing with them. During the time working with those three tools, I decided to get a chainsaw. Now, one big thing I hate about chainsaws is they're so damn dangerous. In the wrong hands, it can seriously injure somebody. But if you're trained in them, then not a problem. I actually got that chainsaw from the Lincoln B&Q, the trimmer and mower I got from the Boston B&Q, the head trimmer I ordered online. But the chainsaw I got, it cost me about 100 quid. But it's the constant use I have with it. The chain that came with the chainsaw, that's now completely shot and no longer used. Can't even sharpen anymore, so it's gone for recycling. I ordered a set of 3 chains. Two of which have gone down the same route, completely shot. Third one is just about there. Just shows how much I've used that chainsaw. So much work has been used on that chainsaw alone. A lot more than any other tools that I've used since getting them. And that is a 2-stroke as well, so you have to mix fuel and oil. Then, as the time wore on, and about the last month and a half now, that I got a leaf blower and sucker, if you like to call it that. And it's basically a 2-in-1 machine. It doesn't just blow leaves, it sucks them up as well into a bag, which you can have over your shoulder. Once full, you empty it out, and so on and so forth. Again, it's a 2-stroke, so you're mixing it. That cost me 130 quid. Useful gadget, particularly autumn winter time when the leaves are falling, have fallen. That's a really good tool to use. And now, my recent purchase, the very recent purchase, and I've only used this tool once to practice on. I've never used it before. Is this gadget here. It is a tiller or cultivator. It's a 4-stroke light lawnmower, and don't have to mix the fuel and oil together. And it does have an oil chamber for lubrication and that. And I paid 250 quid for it. And the only time I've used it is actually at my fiance's in Boston. I'm not going to disclose her address because with some problems that she's had in her past, which I'm not going to go into at all. But this machine really does work. Basically, it's when you start the engine, it runs as normal, and the blades don't automatically start with the engine, which is probably a good thing. Unlike the mower, when you start it, the blade starts spinning with the motor. with this tiller or cultivator, it's got a clutch, and so you pull the trigger and pull down, and that will actually start the blades turning. So it's also pretty heavy as well. It's probably about 35 kilos in weight. But not only that, if you garden full time every week, depending on the time of year, you'll have to get fuel, oil, so 4-stroke oil, 2-stroke oil, and chain oil. Chain oil is for the chainsaw, 2-stroke oil for your 2-stroke motors, and 4-stroke for your 4-stroke motors. But for the chain oil, there is a cheaper alternative. Instead of buying from Amazon, B&Q, Wix, wherever you can get it from, which is usually, probably, depending on where you get it from, upwards of 20 quid for a litre thing of oil. Somebody told me, whilst I was in Boston working on my fiancé's mother's garden, he told me that try vegetable oil or sunflower oil for your chain. It is cheaper, it's about the same consistency, which I didn't know this until I was told about it, and I actually got a 5-litre thing of sunflower oil, and that, for the price of it, you probably can get probably upwards of 10 of those for 1 litre of chain oil from like B&Q or anything, any place where you get your oil from. So it's probably, I think, around about £2.50 for 5 litres of that oil, and it'll last you a lot longer. So, and instead of wastage as well, I've kept my original bottle of chain oil, and it's in this Tupperware right now, so whenever I need to top it up, get it from the 5 litre, decant, done. And also, when you're doing a lot of garden work, particularly with these machines, you need a lot of fuel. So what I originally had 2 green 5 litre jerry cans, and seeing as I've got both 2-stroke and 4-stroke motors, I decided to get 2 red jerry cans. So the green ones are for the 4-stroke, red ones are for the 2-stroke, and it tells me which fuel is for which. So 2-stroke, you mix the red 2-stroke oil with the fuel, so it turns the fuel red. So why not put it in a red jerry can, or 2 for this matter. And for the 4-stroke, straight green. Don't even bother, just put it straight in, like the fuel wise. Not only that, instead of me going back and forth to the fuel station every couple of weeks, it can be a number of months before I have to go back. Minus the van. We don't count the van in this. This is just for the garden tools. So I decided to get a 20 litre jerry can, which is this beast, metal, for obvious reasons, sturdy, it can't be pierced as when it gets jostled around in the van, but it doesn't. It gets tied up anyway for extra security, I have actually filled that jerry can up once since owning these tools, and it's now empty. So it's lasted upwards of 9 months. So 9 months is, well, I'll say 9 months. I think I got it. Look at about 7 months, because I got it 2 months in when I got my tools. And there is an option that comes with it. You can have a nozzle or no nozzle. I decided to go with the nozzle, so you can decant it easier into the smaller jerry cans. I've got one plastic nozzle for the jerry cans only. With these tools, they, particularly the 2 strokes, they come with fuel oil mixing bottles, and these 2-stroke engines are 40:1. So 40 parts fuel, 1 part oil. So I've got like literally 4 of those in one of my totes, which are laying right there. I've got a decanting pipe, so for those small mixing bottles, I decant the required fuel into each one of those with that pipe from the small jerry cans. And I've also got a slightly longer bar for my chainsaw, alongside longer chains to fit that. I've got latex gloves in there for when I'm mixing fuel, because I don't want fuel on my hands, and fuel does stink, and it's kind of hard to get rid of when washing hands. If you do spill on your hands, if you don't have any gloves, even now I can still smell it on my hands, and I've washed my hands once. I've got also a grinder, which I hate using. Used it once this year at my fiance's, but yeah, everything I have for these machines are those 2 totes. With the leaf blower, that comes with accessories, so bag and nozzles for what jobs you're doing. The strimmer comes in 2 parts, and the tiller cultivator comes in many parts you have to put together. But yeah, it's great, absolutely wonderful to have these tools for myself. However, I need to get a brush and a rake, so I can use after this tiller, because it's kind of messy when you actually use it after when I've tried it myself. So the rake and brush I'll be using straight after the tiller to smooth the grass out, or smooth the dirt out, so it can lay the seeds, the grass seed. If I do get any more tools, I'll be making another video alongside this one. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. And I'm pretty sure that you've seen 1 or 2 videos on my YouTube channel, Mike's Music 1000, me at one of my workplaces, using the lawnmower and strimmer, I think a head trimmer as well. But yeah, everything was pretty awesome, easy to use, pretty bog standard basically. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video about my tools. I will make another video actually to go in more detail on each and every single item I have, but at a later date, maybe when it's warmer. And yeah, I think that's about it for now. I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you again soon.